What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Underground STRS Season 2, and today we're here with...
Gone to November.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just chilling right now at the crib.
Yeah. You been busy today?
Nah, not really. Just working on the album. Regular shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's that going?
it's a process. We're in the mixing right now, mixing stages.
How many how many songs are on there for, like...
Can't really say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have
because
a
things get added last. Songs could get added like last hour before I
yeah,
upload, and so
I
it
feel
just
that.
depends.
Do you have like a kind of timeline that you want to try and release it in
Oh, this year, for sure.
this
This
year?
year, yeah. Hopefully,
Mhm.
just if things get mixed on time and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Is uh is this your first album that you're dropping, or have you dropped any
Mm,
other before?
Yeah, and I've dropped some prior. I dropped another one
Mhm.
this year, in July, August maybe. I forgot which one. Um, but it's not a studio album yet. I'm waiting on that
Yeah.
because the studio debut is gonna be something bigger than you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be more put to it, more promotion, marketing, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but a lot of money behind it. That's the goal.
Yes, sir. So, let's just get right into it. Just let me know and let us know how you kind of started getting into music and why you kind of started making it.
Mm, I wrote my first song at 9, so
Dang.
but music has just always been in the house. Whether it was my
Mhm.
grandparents' house or my mother playing shit, and everything. I like everything. Like, and I appreciate all music because you could pull stuff from everything. So I wrote my first song at 9, and then I wrote another song at 11, and then life happened.
Mhm.
Uh, and then around 14, 15, I recorded my first song, and then ever since then, I've just been releasing music. I started releasing music in like 2012, like actual mixtapes, like hard CDs that I
Mhm.
like sold and gave out in high school, like in the halls and shit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I played the saxophone, I played the piano some, and like fucking band in elementary school. So music has just been really just everywhere in my life. So that's really kind
Yeah,
of how
for
I got
sure.
into it. And then before there was like YouTube tutorials how to get crack versions of FL, I was downloading like fucking Garage Band and
Yeah.
FL Demo and trying to do shit before I actually knew, you know what I mean? I was like
Mhm.
13, 12 years old. Um, but yeah, that's how I got into music, into actually like, you know, making it and shit like that
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. And I mean, because it sounds like you've been taking it serious ever since you kind of started, pretty much.
Yeah, I that was the that's the goal. Like I
Mhm.
don't know, that's why I'm here. I
Yeah.
can't speak on for everybody else and shit like that, you know what I mean? But that's why I'm here. That's I can't no matter what I do, you can't just jump. You can't just have one foot in, one foot out, because then that's how you get
Mhm.
stuck and you get complacent. You don't know what to do, and people get discouraged and then wanting to quit after 2 years. It's like, well, shit is not gonna
Yeah.
happen in 2 years, fam. Like you have to
Yeah.
put in the work. You know what I mean? So, and I
Yeah,
knew
for
that as a
sure.
young age. Like I knew that. Like I paid attention. I'm older, so I was on MySpace at like 10, 11 years old, finding the mixtape era from Two Dope Boys and the blogs and everything.
Mhm.
So I paid attention to Drake's come up, Cole's come up, Wiz, Cuddy, Wale, Mac. I
Yeah.
realized like you got to take it serious from day one. If you don't, then you're just gonna be forgotten, and that's not the
Mhm.
plan. At least for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And do you think a lot of people struggle with that? Just kind of
Uh,
giving it 100%?
yeah, I think so. From people, just how I see on Twitter and I hear it in people's music personally.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think so. But I can't speak on everybody else. You know what I mean? But maybe
Yeah.
I have some peers, or I had some peers who used to make music that don't anymore because they fell victim to that mentality and to being
Mhm.
doing that. And I mean, I can't blame them. Everybody don't have 110% in them to give to something, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like some people ain't built.
And
Some people ain't built for it.
yeah, for sure. And like what kind of kept you just persistent and keeping just not just kind of staying focused on it 100%?
I love music.
Mhm.
Like that's it. Like before, like there was. I was making music in MySpace days. Like I was writing. I was 11, 12 years old, writing raps and like being on MySpace,
Yeah.
seeing it all come, come to fruition. Who we call our OGs in the game now and shit. You know, so like
Mhm.
I love it. Like and being like I don't know. That's just it. And realizing that what I could do on my own versus what I see other people doing with a bunch of people behind them as a team keeps me
Yeah.
motivated because I've done things other people can't and probably would never do, and I'd be able to do it on my own, you know, and by God's grace. But
Yeah, for sure.
so I think does that keep seeing the progress and be like, fuck it, like I mean, shit don't happen overnight. Like
Mhm.
all of our like Jay-Z, Cole, Kendrick, like they all late 20s when they blew up, when they dropped their first shit. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I look at that and like, man, I ain't. I'm having fun with this shit. I love it. I ain't gonna rush. Like when it's time to make
Yeah.
that studio debut, and it's time to fucking put my foot on their necks all the way, you know, with like rapping. Then
Mhm.
that's when that will happen, you know. But till then, I love music, so that's what I'm making. You know, I love,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, that's what keeps me persistent. And seeing other people give up, not to be an
Mhm.
asshole, but like I don't know. I see other people quit, and it's like, damn, bro, like you're not built for this, and I just feel it in my heart that I am. So that's why I keep going.
Yeah. And I mean, like speaking of like Cole and all of them, who do you think has kind of like been your biggest influence, just work wise and sound wise?
That's it's hard to say. Probably like a handful of people, probably like four
Mhm.
of them. Uh, Probably at the top, Mac for like being
Mhm.
lyric wise. Mac and Drake like lyric wise, and then beat selection and production, probably like Cuddy and Wiz,
Mhm.
and then like being able to be 100% authentic on the track. I think I get that from like Tyler
Yeah.
because I found like I was on MySpace going back to I keep going back to MySpace. Like I found
Mhm.
Bastard on MySpace in 2009. So
Yeah.
I I don't know. I just see you be 100% you. You can't lose. You know, yeah, you take L's,
Mhm.
but that's just life, man. You can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say them five, and OVO 40, Drake's producer.
Mhm.
Him especially, like because he's the guy behind all the last decade of hits. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
he's the engineer. He was the producer. Like even the and I started reading in credits, Drake's credits, and even the remixes he did of like these big ass songs.
Mhm.
40 had production credits on those remixes. So I was like, okay, like he's that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's really
But
shaped
yeah,
a lot of just records and everything.
that is shaped the like I don't think Atlanta's sound now would be kind of Atlanta and New York sound kind of mimics 40 sound
Mhm.
selection and shit like that, in my opinion, at least. There's like
Yeah.
recent Atlanta and New York sound, but that's just my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
And people don't give him
Is
his
he's
credit. I don't think people in the producer
Oh, for
community or
sure.
even in the mainstream, like he, yeah. But that's another conversation.
I feel like it's because he stays in the background for most of this stuff. Like he just puts in all the work and just lets the music talk for itself.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah. That's
he's
exactly.
not like on yeah, he's not like on social media like a lot of other people. He's just working 100%.
Yeah, and building studios. He just did a he don't do a
Mhm.
lot of interviews either, and he did like a podcast interview guest type shit feature, and he was talking exact. He said exactly basically that what you just said in a
Mhm.
different words, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
and hey, and people that's what some people want. You know, you can't blame him. I can't blame him because look at all the shit. Look at all
Yeah,
the shit Drake takes. You know,
for sure. It's it just really it depends on what kind of person you are. Like there's some artists who are just out there all the time, always making noise, and then there's other artists like Cole who's just drops music and then just lets it be like that.
and
So it really just depends on what you want.
yep, and you hit it right on the head with that because recently I was on Clubhouse, maybe a couple like last month or something, and I heard this long. I was in this room for hours listening to Cortez Bryant. He's
Mhm.
Drake and Wayne and Kanye's old manager. And the first when he said when Drake came to him and asked him to be his manager, the first thing he asked Drake is, "What do you want and where do you see yourself?"
Mhm.
And that's exactly what you just said. Is like some
Yeah.
people know what they want, you know. And I think
Mhm.
Cole, as he got older, or you know, as the later projects, you could see him being more reclusive and being like, "Here's the music. I don't have to be like I could let the music speak." And then some artists, I think,
Yeah.
don't have the talent to do that. If I'm being honest, like
Mhm.
especially nowadays, I think there's some artists who have to be on the fucking timeline all the time, or you will forget about them.
Yeah.
And you know whether, and that's yeah, that's just my opinion though.
Mhm. It goes to show how much like that early stage is of building of a fan base, how important that is.
Fuck yeah, and
Because
yeah. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
you if you do if you it's all right. If you do it right, then towards the end, you won't have to keep trying to build it up because you already have a solid fan base so where you can just drop music as you want. But
Yep.
with like people blowing up so fast nowadays, they don't have the time to build it up how you people used to. So they got to make sure they stay in the spotlight. They stay in their minds on the timelines and everything.
And I think doing that is hard to do now, and I think that's why
Yeah.
X, rest in peace, and or even people like Uzi and Cardi, they were so early on the SoundCloud shit that they developed that type of following,
Mhm.
that type of listeners where you can't tell their fans they're not dope.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they're not, just you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like I think that is so what's the word I'm looking for? So important for artists now, especially like our era, like the SoundCloud after the SoundCloud era that's coming up. Like I think that is
Mhm.
so important to build what the MySpace era did, like you know, with Cuddy and Drake and
Mhm.
Wiz and how they were on the fucking timeline and they were on Twitter first and they were, you know, talking to fans how these artists are now with when they just drop these fucking cell phone numbers and say text me and you know shit like that, or you
Yeah.
see big artists starting OnlyFans, or you see big artists starting like fucking Patreons and shit to get their fans to talk
Mhm.
directly to them. So I think that is so
Yeah.
important now. But with if you don't, I think is the type of music you make. If you make a certain type of music, your fans aren't really gonna want to engage with you. Like if you just make shit for the club, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and then what's there's not really much depth to that type of person, not person, but like that type of
Mm-hmm.
artist, like what's more to read into or what's more to get to know if that's all they talk
Yeah.
about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think someone who really did a good job with that, like finding the perfect mix between having like club bangers and also tracks that people could relate to, was the Jack Harlow. Because I listened to his album, I think it was yesterday, and it's got like the perfect mix between just both kind of songs.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his, but there's I'm not a fan of his. We could just yeah, and I know he could rap, and that me being not a fan of his
Mm-hmm.
music doesn't take anything from him being able to rap, and that's
No,
that's
yeah.
what I could as a man or like as a fellow artist like I could at least say that. You know, I don't have to be a fan of your music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big fan of Jid's music either, but I know he could rap his
Mm-hmm.
fucking ass off. You know.
Yeah. 100%.
But I think also Harlow, he's white. Like, and I don't like to be play that card, but
Yeah.
he's white, so he's gonna appeal to a lot more than everybody else. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think why Machine Gun Kelly was able to drop that fucking whatever type of album that was and just cross over
Mm-hmm.
genres because he used rap to cross over to white America to buy into that sound, you know? Even though that sound and I know I haven't either, but like I I just see through.
Moving on from that, I really like the single. I like 100% really liked it.
Oh, okay, okay,
Cobain.
okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually helped on that song. I actually had help writing it from Rory. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had made the beat before I got the beat, before I bought it. He had wrote some shit to it um like a couple weeks prior, and I bought the beat, and I sent him a reference
Mm-hmm.
back within like hours like I normally do. And then he was like, well, I have this hook type shit, which was basically like a more simplified version of what you hear it as the hook now. um
Mm-hmm.
yes, so I got, and I sent him back like the second reference with that on it, and he was like, oh yeah, this is it. And at that time it only had one verse, and I was debating whether to keep it like, like one verse and just letting it
Mm-hmm.
ride out and let it be a minute to get hella replay. But I was like, oh fuck it, I'll add a second verse because I just had some shit to say. and
Yeah.
and then I was able to get like the homegirl. She plays like she's super sick at fucking guitar, but she makes beats too. And I had her do that
Mm-hmm.
like fucking little solo, um, the
That was
outro shit.
fire.
So,
Yeah.
but I want to get back to performing and shit because I miss so many shows this year, and with this new music that I got, it's really like live, like music to perform live. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm glad you like
It's
it.
just pure
I'm glad you
performance
like it.
music.
That's just tight.
No, yeah. It was really nice. I added it to the playlist
Yes,
and
sir.
everything. I like it was cuz I listened to it when it released, and then I listened to it again when I was writing the thing for the website. So, I got a really good listen to it that second time around just cuz I was like paying attention more so I could figure out
Okay,
what
yeah,
to
bro.
write
I
about it.
appreciate that too. That little write up was tight.
Yeah, we're going to have to do one for the album
Hey,
when it comes
that'd be
out.
lit. That'd be lit.
I'm hoping to get I got a few just projects that I have in mind to have a write up about. I'm just trying to figure out like the perfect times to post them and everything. Figure that
Yeah,
out.
what you're doing, bro, is tight. It's like fucking, it reminds me of the mixtape era blog shit. Like that shit is dope. And that you're
Hmm.
also a producer. You
Appreciate
have a
it.
different insight to who's actually working and doing shit. And like,
Yeah,
so what you're doing is dope. That's just fire.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's been short. The amount of time that I've been doing it's been really short, but it's been a lot of work so far.
Yeah, I I could imagine just the whole podcast in itself
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
I looked into myself, and this getting that shit everywhere and doing filming and all that's just hard to do. And I couldn't focus on
Yeah.
that and the album I got right now. So like, I will put the podcast to the side, like
Mhm.
do that shit later.
Yeah. It's been I feel like after this next coming season, I'm gonna have to figure out to get somebody to help me with editing all these
Yeah,
videos. Just cuz that in itself takes like hours. So like I record one day for about an hour and a half, then I edit it the next day for about 2 to 3 hours, and then posting it to YouTube takes like another half day.
yeah. So
It
yeah,
just
it's
takes
hella time
so much
consuming.
time.
Yep. Especially yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully I'll figure that out by the end of this year, mid next year. But out of what you can tell about the album, what was kind of like your process of making it? What was kind of like the ideas behind it?
Well, it's
Just
called 2011, so um, that year is like very a lot of shit happened that year for my life, and
mhm
certain albums dropped that year, and certain albums dropped in 2010 and 2012 that are very like that. To that, this represents a time in music and in my life, and so I'm encapsulating that feeling. I'm trying to, so then you or the listener
mhm
could, when you do listen, could it hopefully takes you back to that point in time where I was at, and that feeling I had. I'm putting it into that album.
mhm
But I've been working on it for 2 years now. I had the
damn
name for like 5 years though, or maybe even six. But just I just felt it was time. Just so much shit going on, and last year I had a lot of people die that were close to me.
mhm
So like I had talked about with somebody that had passed away that was close to me about making this album, and him being like a co-executive producer on it. So I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make this album this year." And now that I have the resources for certain production and certain shit like that, I could actually make it how I want. You know what I mean?
mhm. And is most of the production handled by like just a certain amount of people? Is it just kind of range from a lot of people?
This one, it's all over the place. Yeah, this one I just said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
I usually, because I usually do stick to. I've only worked with maybe 8 producers, 9 producers. Um,
Mhm.
because I don't want my name attached to some bullshit later down the line that a producer tries to do, and then I have a fucking gold record with them 10 years from now. You know what I mean? That like yeah,
Yeah.
the money is cool right now. We can make,
Yeah.
but like I'm just very selective. But this time around, I just put the money towards whatever fucking beat I heard on BeatStars or your page or your fucking Instagram, whatever I came across, and I bought that
Mhm.
shit, and it's just coming together. Like I had the money and resources and shit. So
Yeah. And is the album kind of like following like a certain
it's
vibe,
supposed to be
or
an R
is
and
it
B
just
album, but I'm
kind of
rapping on
mhm
most of it. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do because it was supposed to be an R&B album, and I want to drop it this year. But if I push it back, and I'll be able to make a lot more. Like I want to make a couple ballads where I'm like singing.
mhm
Um, but yeah, that's it's supposed to be an R&B album, but I it's gonna be like a hybrid, like party
yeah.
next door ish, kinda. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Might have to make like a side A, side B
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that was I we were in talks of that, but due to streaming, it's hard to do now. We can't really do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about making two parts and dropping them within the same like 2 weeks of each other. So then the music makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, we're still trying to figure out that out because with the streaming shit, what
Yeah.
you can do now is I could just drop 5 songs, and then next week I could re-drop it and just add 5 more songs. And a lot of
Yeah,
labels
yeah.
are
I know what
doing
you
that
mean.
shit. So I was thinking I could can do that, but I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that. I'm definitely gonna take a listen to that. Hundred
Yeah, this
percent.
this that's what I'm trying to. Because there's certain like I got support and shit, but there's people in the underground or in this art producer community and shit that I know are watching that don't support, but that still follow. And to me, it's fucking weird because
Mm-hmm.
I try to
Yeah.
listen to everybody. I try to support everybody. That's just because how I said in the beginning, like I love music. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully with this one, I could make everybody pay the fuck attention because I am doing this shit on my own. Like I'm putting all my money, I mix everything. I fucking yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
And yeah. And what are you kind of trying to do for like marketing, promoting it wise?
I'm thinking of taking the mixtape route, like reaching out to all these fucking blogs, like because there's a lot of people that are
Mm-hmm.
trying to do what you're doing, but they don't. I can see they don't have the resources, so they write a lot of reviews, and they have a couple hundred followers, thousand
Yeah.
followers, so on and so on. But I'm thinking about doing that, and I don't know. Right now, the playlist game, bro, that shit is fucking where it's at, man. And and right
It really is.
and I don't like that whole me paying to be on your playlist because that's like the same shit back in the day. The labels were paying radio stations to promote their new single,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like that whole payola bullshit because there's been legendary artists who just said fuck the system, gone against it, that never really got public recognition. So I'm trying to figure a way out. I was gonna drop it
Yeah.
exclusively like physical, like, and you buy that shit and I ship it to you, but
Oh
um
shit.
because how much money I spent on the album, and like if I already
Mm-hmm.
spent this much, then might as well spend that much to make the fucking physicals and then make my money back. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if I have 1,000 people that go listen to the album on Spotify and Apple Music combined, or just all streaming platforms combined, then if you want that album that bad, like I'm sure you'll buy it. But we're still, like I said, we're still trying to figure all that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the whole playlist thing, it's just like if you do pay for a playlist placement, it's not going to really do any good because most likely you'll be at the
Exactly.
very bottom of
Or
the playlist.
if you know these playlist people who own them that are curating them, and it's a whole game. It's politics, and I don't kiss ass, bro. I don't do all that. I'm here for the music. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like if you fuck with me, you gonna put my music
Yeah.
on your playlist, and if you don't fuck with me, you're not getting my money to put me on your playlist. I don't care. I could
Yeah.
spend my money on fucking a
Yeah.
billboard. I could spend my money on there's so much shit I could do out here in LA that other people can't. So I'd rather, I'm not gonna pay for a playlist, And also, it's not a guarantee
Mm-hmm.
that they're gonna save the
Yeah.
fucking song either. And that's my thing. You save. I need people to save the fucking song because that means that they want
Mm-hmm.
the music. They like the music. They connect with it. Because yeah, you could stream it. You could check it out. You could.
Yeah.
But how many times are you gonna go back to it? It's like if you save that song, that means you're gonna go back to it. And these play
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and most of
It's
these
not like just a
playlists
one
out,
and
what
done.
it is, people just push shuffle, and that's it. And not everybody has Spotify Premium. That's what people
Mm-hmm.
forget. So most of the time,
Yeah.
all they do is press shuffle. You know. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's real. It's just it's a gamble, 100%. Like either with pain or without pain. It's just you can do it, but it's not like you're gonna get
best. And
100% results back.
that's why I think it's a better shot at just fucking going for the editorials every time you release something. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
what I tell. Like, and I've never got on one, but every time I've released something, I've tried to submit it to Spotify editorials, and never works. But
Mm-hmm.
I still there's like Spotify algorithmic playlists, like new releases and fucking
Yeah.
like the shit you may like and like those playlists, and I'm on those. I see results on those. I see percentages on those. So I'm like, okay, they're at least placing me on those.
Mm-hmm.
So like, sooner or later it's gonna happen. Like I'm not tripping. You know what I mean? And that's where it's
Yeah.
at because
Yeah,
those
for sure.
editorial ones, those are real. Like Spotify knows, they have all the
Mm-hmm.
data.
Yeah. They're not
Put
like just
yeah,
publicly
publicly
made.
made, and
They're
then they
from Spotify.
bots to add to make it look, and yeah, nope.
Yeah. Yeah. The one smart move is trying to get it on TikTok.
Yeah, I have. Well, DistroKid, they put it on TikTok and Triller and all that shit. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I I'm not good with that. I'm not good with. Mm, I'm not really funny like that. And I feel like TikTok,
Yeah, but I mean,
you have to be
not
some
only
type of
that,
funny.
yeah. Or you can like try and contact like smaller creators who have like a good amount of following and be like, "Hey, check out my song," or make a TikTok with it too. Like reaching out to them, and then they'll do that,
Yeah,
and then people could listen to it and then try and figure it out from
yeah. I
there.
used to do that with before TikTok and all of this, like Vine era with
Mhm.
YouTubers. I used to do that when I was making music in high school and shit. I used to reach out to smaller YouTubers and be like, "Hey, can you use my song in your intro or
Mhm.
in your montage on COD or Overwatch or whatever?"
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to do that, but now like I don't know it that on top of everything else I have to do by myself is like I'd
Mhm.
rather not deal with TikTokers. that's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
that's just me though.
No, yeah, I totally understand that. All right, so we got one more thing before we go to the outro, and it is how did you get your name?
Uh, yeah, man, it's kind of hard to explain. Um, I went by something before this
Mhm.
because I was making music prior. Like, so I had this name only for 2 years. This December marks 2 years of like rebranding.
Yeah.
And before I changed my name, I had shit bubbling in high school and this and a couple songs, a couple thousand, this and but
Mhm.
it wasn't where I knew the name wasn't gonna take me.
Yeah.
And a lot of my favorite songs uh, uh have the phrase "gone to November" in them. Um, they don't really. It's not that deep, but it's just like I don't know. And then when I did change my name, it took me 2.5 years to make an album.
Mhm.
And when I put it out, it just happened to be November.
Yeah.
Things is kind of aligned. And then I like how sometimes people don't know how to pronounce it
Mhm.
because I remember people not knowing how to pronounce his Wiz Khalifa's name. I remember like
Yeah.
certain artists like people were like who what the fuck's that? It catches the eye.
Mhm.
And I remember
Yeah.
pre-COVID performing at shows. Um, and promoters not knowing how to pronounce my name, and me having to go on stage in front of hella fucking people and correcting them and making the promoters look
Mm-hmm.
stupid and shit. But yeah, it's not that deep. It don't really like a lot. Just a lot of my favorite artists have songs that mention it. When I
Yeah.
rebranded, just they're kind of, I don't know. It's not that deep.
No, yeah. I feel it though. It's a cool name. I like it. It's like you said. It's something that kind of pops out, and people will remember it for sure, just because either they can't pronounce it or you can like kind of tell once people start liking it more, because you can see someone who doesn't know how to pronounce it,
Yep,
they end up saying it right after a while.
facts. Yep, and that and seeing it on the timeline. I've been told people have seen the name on the timeline, not knowing what the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and then them coming across and be like, "Oh, it's a dude." Like I've been told before
Yeah.
that people thought I was a band. Like, and I was like, my music don't
Yeah.
sound like a band though. But I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Whatever gets the
facts.
attention. Yeah. All right. Well, we got the way we end the episodes. We got 3 questions,
Okay.
and then you get to ask a question for the next guest.
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, if any two artists could drop a collab tape right now, who would you want them to be?
um. Uh. I don't know. We'll have to circle back to that question.
All
Yeah.
right. And then second question is, out of any song that has been made
Uh.
ever, which is one song that you wish you could have made?
Oh shit. Um. There's this uh Mac Miller song called Jerry Record Store.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know about it. I don't even think it has a million views on YouTube. It's like super low key. Like you have to be a Mac
Yeah.
super like Mac fan to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
That song. Just because what he's saying and yeah. But going back to your first question, we've gotten a lot of those recently in the past like 5, 6 years. So I wouldn't I would want to see like TDE and like
Mm-hmm.
Dreamville like on a project like compilation type shit, not just two artists. Because I
Yeah, like the whole.
yeah, like um their whole camp, like all their signees and shit.
Yeah,
I think that would be dope. But
that would be crazy.
maybe um I don't know, Mac and Wiz would have been fucking tight.
That would.
Man,
That definitely would have.
Wiz has always done tapes. Like he has a couple tapes with Currency and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. So that would have been fucking tight to see.
Yeah, either one would have been crazy.
Facts.
And then the third is, what advice do you have for up and coming artists?
Bro, I don't know. I'm up and coming still in my opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
be yourself and don't give a fuck what they're saying on the timeline because that shit
Mm-hmm.
is not real life. Because people talk shit about Eminem all the time on the timeline, but in real life, he sells records. So
Yeah.
focus on the music and just stay consistent. Like if I were to tell my 13-year-old self, like when I first got a microphone or I first recorded, like don't stop. Like, and they don't care about what you're going through. Rap,
Mm-hmm.
don't stop. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's real. That's that. I feel like that's what a lot of people kind of don't realize is 99% of the stuff on the timeline isn't real.
Yep.
It's just a bunch of noise for the most part.
Exactly. Yep. And I tweeted out like a week or two ago, maybe like people just like hearing themselves speak. Like people just like
Mhm.
talking. Like they're not really adding value to shit. And I was raised
Yeah.
you don't speak unless you have value to add to the conversation. And
Mhm.
in my perspective, if you don't have value to add to the culture, why the fuck you doing this shit? Because right now we
Yeah.
don't need any more bullshit. The last 4 years we let bullshit slide. And
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of good shit did happen, but those people are lost now. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's just how I see it. Like, yeah,
Yeah. I feel that.
yeah, they 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 fail to realize it, but you could have streams and shit, but are they coming to your show? Can you sell 200 tickets in your hometown?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If you can't,
Yeah.
then I don't want to hear nothing yet. Like, you can't talk to me about it because I have, you know,
Yeah.
like in you could have 100,000 streams, million streams, but like, bro, are they coming to your shows when
Yeah.
the world was open? You know,
Mhm.
that's just how I see it. Because there's where the money's at, bro.
Yeah.
You want to live the road. That's how. Well, at least for artists and producers, it's a little different because you guys eat off checks and upfront
Mhm.
shit, you know. But yeah, that's just how I see it. The timeline don't mean shit, bro. Put your head down and work. Like they want music. That's
Yeah.
what we're here for.
Yeah. Hundred
And if
percent.
you're not here for this, in my opinion, get the fuck out of my way because that's what I'm here
Mhm.
for. I'm here for my family to be able to eat off my music when I'm 30 years dead already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're trying to build just for the future.
For the future and for the future of the culture. Like people be talking
Yeah.
all this stuff for the culture, all this, and they just be spewing that shit out. Like that shit just became a hot term to use. Like people don't really do shit for the culture. They do shit for themselves and claim it's for the culture. Like shit for the
Mhm.
culture. You gotta have to sacrifice shit to move the needle forward.
Yeah.
And people fail to realize that shit when they're just on the timeline 24/7, reading just producers arguing over shit that don't really
Mhm.
matter. Like I personally, I don't care if
Yeah.
you don't use a fucking this snare anymore, or if you don't use loops or whatever it is. If you only use uh soft clipper on your master, like people need to forget that shit already. Like we're past that stage already, bro. We need to focus on the
Mhm.
music together and like because without that shit, it's not gonna go anywhere. We're just gonna sit here and the kids that are coming after us are going to have to push it forward. And I feel like it's our duty to push that shit forward
Yeah.
because we have the tools to. And the ones
Mhm.
before us, Cuddy and Drake and them, they did, but they didn't. Not like how we
Mhm.
do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We got everything literally at our
Everything.
fingertips.
And look, I'm sitting in here fucking in the hood in LA and you're over there like being able to do a podcast. Like they weren't able to do this. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
blog era, they had to go to a show, the guys that were writing the blogs and see that artist to get an interview maybe. Like and now you could just hit
Mhm.
DMs and be like, yo, can you hop on? You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think people take that shit for granted, bro. And they caught up in
Everything
all that
is
other shit that don't matter.
yeah. Everything's so easy to do nowadays that it's just easy. It's even easier just to kind of get lost
Oh
in it
yeah,
all.
because people are getting I feel like people don't use social media. They get used like by it. Like I see it as
Mhm.
a tool, like some people see it as entertainment. That's
Yeah.
cool too. No, I'm not like trying to, talk down anyone that does that, but that's just me. You know what I mean? I'm here for a
Mhm.
reason. You know?
Yeah. That just in nowadays is one of the biggest obstacles for really anybody is trying to figure out social media,
Yeah,
whether they're gonna use it for their advantage or just get lost in it.
and that's why I'm glad I paid attention to the ones before me. And a lot of people just started this music shit. I've seen, and that's cool. No, I'm not, trying. That's cool. But I paid attention to how Wiz used Twitter back in the day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when Twitter goes crazy over some bullshit that happened, that the celebrity couple, or whatever, and Twitter goes
Mm-hmm.
fucking crazy and everybody's tweeting. I saw Wiz do that with Twitter when Kush and Orange Juice dropped. I saw Kid Cudi do that. I saw Drake do that. Like, so cause I see like how I want to use it, and then I look at my
Yeah.
peers, and I see them not doing that at all,
Mm-hmm.
and they just post memes and this and that for engagement. Yeah, it's cool, but are your memes selling you fucking beats? I don't think
Yeah.
so, my dude. Like, I don't know. I don't watch. I don't count people's pockets, but to me, it don't look like it. Like, cause it's just
Mm-hmm.
memes, or it's just fucking engagement questions and this and that. Like, well, yeah, yeah. That's just I go off on rants, but yeah, that's just how I see it.
Yeah. I feel that. Well, I mean, appreciate you coming, bro. Honestly, it's been definitely lots of information. 100%.
Shit, I hope so, man. I hope I just kick some game, so at least people
Yeah.
listen. And
Bro, you did 100%. Especially for all these just all at pretty much a lot of underground artists trying to do what you're trying to do,
see,
for sure.
right now, Brian, even where I'm at, like I see other people, and that's normal. Like what I just said, I see other people, and I compare myself, and that's normal. People behind me need to understand
Mhm.
that too, because I was on
Yeah.
Clubhouse the other day, like not the other day. I was on Clubhouse. This was maybe a month ago now, and I heard 21 Savage talking to Cortez Bryant, uh, Drake and Kanye and Wayne's ex manager, talking about how how 21 compares himself. And 21 just won a Grammy and he's still comparing himself.
Mhm.
And I was right there listening to that conversation live, and I was like, damn, bro, like now I know not to stress my fucking ass off like I do. And I think the ones behind
Yeah.
me and you need to understand that too. Like, it's don't do it all the fucking time, because then you'll
It's
get
normal.
lost. But understand everybody does it
Mhm.
because it's human.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that everybody's just should know. That's something good just to have cuz even me, I always compare myself, but I don't let that discourage me just cuz I'm not where someone else is or I don't have the same skill as someone else does, but I have what I can do and I have the
Exactly.
skills I
And it's
have.
vice versa. They don't have the skills you do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I might
Mhm.
not be able to sing in auto tune the best, but I know people who can't rap as good as me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's the ones behind us need to know, like, it shit's all right. Like, that shit's just human
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
And also, I think that
For sure, for sure.
is a product of like social media era. Is because when we are
Mhm.
trying to support our peers, all we are doing is looking at the timeline, seeing, oh shit, he's doing that. Oh shit, they just got a placement. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm. Yeah. And also social media is just it's filled with
dude,
all the
oh yes,
highlights.
that's why I try to tweet real shit, or I just try to post
Mhm.
like on my story and shit. Like, I try to show life and not like all the good parts, because life ain't always good.
Yeah.
And I try to excuse me, I try to expand on that in my music too, because
Mhm.
people in the SoundCloud era before us, all they did was highlight that, and that's not what I want to do.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because being authentic, I think, gives you longevity.
for sure. That's that's what a lot of people just they're trying to get popping off just cuz they're trying to ride what's popular, talk about what's popular, but not that doesn't keep you
Nope.
in it forever. That'll keep you in there
Nope.
temporary.
And I've always been one to be like, fuck it, I'll do shit this way, and even if I take a L now, I know a year from now people will look back and be like, oh shit, what the fuck? He said
Mhm.
this or he was doing this or whatever it may be. Like
Yeah.
I see hella people jumping on Bandcamp. Shout out to Bandcamp. I've been on Bandcamp since 2014, and now Bandcamp is giving artists all of profit, and everybody's realizing, oh
Mhm.
shit, that's cool. When I was trying to do that in the mixtape era back then, like pre SoundCloud, people were like, "What the fuck is Bandcamp?" So now that I'm seeing
Yeah.
the underground move forward and realize, oh, ownership. Like shout out to Nipsey, like because I feel like when he passed away, like a lot of people realized that shit he was kicking, that game he was kicking
Mhm.
was real shit. And now,
Yeah.
I feel like people are realizing, no, we need to own. We should. What we're getting paid per stream is fucking bullshit. You know.
Mhm. Yeah. For sure. Well, I forgot what I was gonna say. All right. And what is one question for the next guest?
What's your 10-year goal?
That's a good one. That's I was thinking of making that a question for next season. Like where do you see yourself in this, or like how you mentioned earlier, like what's something you would tell like your past self? But
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a good question for next
yeah,
season too.
but
But
all
yeah,
right,
what's your 10-year goal?
we'll make sure to get him to get that. It's who is it next? I don't remember. Uh hold on, I have my phone here. I can pull it up on there.
You out there in Texas?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. I forgot where you were at. I thought you were in Oklahoma with Truth and Drake
Nah,
and them. So
Texas.
you know Kira, or you just know him from social media?
I know him from social media, and then we did the
Okay.
podcast on this. So let's see who is
Where
it.
you at in Texas?
Dallas, like 30 minutes from Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, around like I'm like 15 minutes away from like the airport.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Proud by Poppy with Digital Dior. That's
Oh
who we got
shit.
next
Yeah,
week.
he produced a single, or he produced one of my songs, Old School.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we got him for the next episode.
that's tight. Yeah, shout out to Digital Dior. Shout
Yes,
out Poppy.
sir.
He's tight. What they're doing is tight too, bro.
It is
That what they're doing is tight. Sonny, people could hate on him all they want and whatever, but
doing
bro, what they're
numbers.
yeah, what they're doing is sick.
Mhm.
Hats off to them for real, because to me it's like and shout out to Internet Money too, bro, because what they're doing is amazing. But to me, Digital Dior is like a more catered to the underground, I guess,
Yeah.
sound, or just catered to the underground in general.
Mhm.
And I see where they're gonna take them and all of that,
Yeah.
like charts and. But for right now, what they're doing is fucking sick.
Yeah. Shout out to them. I'm trying to figure out for next season. I want to try and get Sunny on for either the finale or the first episode, one or the other.
Ooh, either or would be tight.
Yeah.
I've only talked to him a few times in the DMs because paperwork and all that shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, what they're doing is tight.
Yeah. But all right, bet. So we got that question for the next, and see if I'm forgetting anything else. Shouldn't be. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be sending you over a season 2 sticker
So
just for being part of season 2. Appreciate it. Honestly, it's been fun. It's been a good time.
Hell yeah, man. I ain't doing shit. I'm just in the middle of making an album,
Yeah.
bro. So I'm just chilling right now.
Mhm. That's I mean it's perfect timing too. Release
I know
this. Your
holidays
album's
around the
coming
corner and
next.
shit.
Yeah. So, um, but no, honestly, bro, I appreciate it. And
I appreciate you having me on too, man. Like for real, because I know where I see people in your mentions like, oh, I need an interview.
mhm.
Let me get a, So I
Yeah.
appreciate you reaching out and you know what I mean, paying attention and fucking like noticing what I'm doing over here.
Mhm. No, I mean, once I heard it, I was like I have to get this man either season 2 or season 3. And once we started expanding to artists for season 2, I was like it's got to get done.
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate that shit.
Yes,
This shit's lit, bro.
yes, sir. Have you did you already do the one with
Let me rap with you.
yeah.
Yeah, we did that a couple weeks ago, actually. Man, not a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did that. That was cool too. Shout out to fucking I always forget his name. But shout out to Let Me Rap With You
Yes,
podcast. They
sir.
dope
Shout
too.
out to them. They're both dropping same day, so you're gonna have a filled day that day.
Oh hell yeah, bro! I might even drop a single that day. Fuck it.
Say less. Well,
Get the hype up.
yeah. So, all your music's on all platforms and everything, right?
Except SoundCloud.
Except
You can
SoundCloud.
find a few stray singles on SoundCloud just by weird uploaders and shit like that, maybe.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for watching. Um, make sure to go check out his music. Links and everything will be down in the description. Twitter, Instagram, Apple Music, Spotify, everything. And we'll catch y'all next week. See ya.
Laters, man.